The Los Angeles Lakers have once again found themselves at the center of the NBA conversation, and this time it isn't about a parade route or a splashy signing. It's about a 4-minute stretch that pulled every eye to the floor and turned a great October performance into a serious early season checkpoint for this team. Leave your like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any updates, because I'm taking you through the night possession by possession and then straight into the plan. What the coaching staff will change in the rotation, what the schedule allows for in the next 48 hours, how the front office built a roster to absorb stress without panic, and why tonight's headline only makes sense when you stack it against the big picture. I'm speaking as one of you, directly, because this fan base understands context. The Lakers didn't just open the season, they opened a new chapter of responsibility around a superstar who touched every part of the box score, controlled pace, and carried the room like a first option is supposed to do when another legend is in recovery. And I promise you this, I'll give you a clean briefing up front so you know where we're headed. I'll build the story with the tactical truth that actually wins games in late October, and only when the context is strong enough to hold it will I deliver the update you came here for. Then I'll close with my verdict and open the floor for your ideas and closing lineups in the comments. If you want to skip to the last 2 minutes, you won't find shortcuts here. We do it the right way because that's how you build a season instead of scrolling through headlines. Now the performance. You saw a superstar own the gym. 40-plus points, double-digit rebounds, near double-digit assists, and control of the tempo that you can hear even without looking at the scoreboard. He made 17 of 27 from the field, and while the three wasn't friendly, he didn't let that dictate shot selection. He lived in the paint, he worked the mid-clock, and he organized late possessions when the building got loud. That's not just production, that's leadership. And with LeBron managing sciatica for the next stretch, that leadership becomes the compass for this group. The minutes were heavy, right around 40, which is understandable when the game is there to be taken. But this is where coaching shows up between games 1 and 2. You don't repeat the same script, you refine it. The staff is going to stagger earlier, so he opens the second quarter against second units. They'll steal micro-rests with quick subs before long TV breaks, and they'll change the mix of touches so he finishes plays more than he starts. That means more get actions, handoff into rescreen, more inverted pick and rolls where a guard screens for him to force a friendly switch, and more Spain variations that let him pop to the slot instead of banging through traffic off the bounce. Less dribble tax, same gravity. Defensively, there's a simple checklist that turns a shaky third into a quiet one. The on-ball defender has to get skinny at the first screen so the big isn't trapped in a 2-on-1. The weak side wing must tag with force at the dotted line and then sprint to the corner on the pass, and the entire group has to finish possessions on the glass. It sounds basic because it is, and the opener already showed long stretches of it done well. When they did that, the game slowed into a style the Lakers can control without asking a single person to do too much. When they didn't, the opponent's run arrived fast. These are October habits turning into November identity. The short-term schedule is our friend. 2 days off before a Friday showcase means treatment, targeted work, and film. The opponent wants half-court trench basketball anyway, and that actually helps if you're managing workload. Fewer total possessions, more time to choose your spots, and more value for simple, decisive offense. Offensively, I expect the early script to demand paint touches through DeAndre Ayton so the whistle lives at the rim, and the three-point diet is catch and shoot, not off-the-dribble prayers. If the Lakers win the free throw math early, the second quarter becomes calm. Staggered minutes, controlled pace, and a fourth quarter where the star is at 34 sleek minutes instead of pushing into the high 30s just to keep up. And if the three is still stubborn, keep shooting the right ones and refuse the wrong ones. The catch and shoot from the slot is a green light. The off-the-bounce pull-up from 27 feet with a hand-up is not the identity for this particular week. Now zoom out to the roster because this is where Los Angeles quietly built margin. The front office didn't chase novelty, it chased function. They pivoted when a center target fell through, used a short commitment to add Ayton's size and touch, and layered in veteran guard toughness with a defensive voice who knows how to organize a room. They sprinkled shooting via a wing who can space the second side, and they bet on development with a long-armed forward who projects as a real defender over time. Training camp trims were clean and respectful. Exhibit 10 deals brought in pros who worked, earned looks and then moved to the South Bay pipeline so the big club could run tight. That's alignment. It looks ordinary in the transaction log, but it transforms nights like this from uh-oh to we've got a plan. Because you don't need 10 heroes. You need 5 guys who play honest basketball for 48 minutes and a staff that preserves the centerpiece for the long road. Let's go from concept to concrete tactics because you deserve specifics. In early offense, I want drag screens at the 22-second mark so our star is downhill before the set defense breathes. If the opponent switches, the slip is automatic, and if they drop, the pocket pass hits the free throw line on time. In the half court, I want empty corner pick and roll to the left side, not because it's cute, but because it clears the nail and creates a clean runway for the strong hand finish or the kick to the weak side 45. I want horns twist into Chicago action on the second side so Austin Reeves can catch on the move and either turn the corner or hit the cutter. And I want to see our big used as a dribble handoff hub at the elbows 2 or 3 trips a quarter, so we're not asking the same player to dribble through contact every time the clock hits 12. These are small levers that shave stress off joints while adding efficiency to possessions. On defense, the peel switch has to be automatic when a guard gets stuck on a roller. That keeps the paint clean without baiting the corner help into a mistake. And when a stretch big pops, you don't fly by him, you show chest, contest with length, and force it on the deck into help. If the Lakers hit those notes, the opponent has to change. That's control. You felt the room shift late in the fourth. Everyone did. The star reached toward the groin hip area after a drive, adjusted for a moment, then kept playing. After the game, the tone was direct and measured. Felt it for a moment, not concerned. Probably nothing. No drama, just information. That matters. It means the plan is vigilance without alarm. Day-to-day, treatment, movement work, and a shot diet that leans into catch and finish instead of repeated start-stop bursts. It means rotation trims that look subtle on paper but feel big in the legs. Earlier stagger, the pre-timeout sub-trick, and a few more possessions where Reeves or another handler runs the first action while the star sets a screen, slips, and catches in space. It also means valuing whistle stoppages. You earn bonus free throws early, and you can control pace without burning energy. None of this is panic. It's how a grown team handles a long season. While we're on the subject of responsibility, I want to highlight the bench in the exact way it needs to be highlighted right now. Your job gets harder when a franchise player has a medical note because your minutes are colder and your touches are fewer. But the way you change a game is simple. You sprint into screens, you shoot the first honest catch and shoot without hesitation, you tag the roller with force, and then rebound like it's the last ball of your night. One offensive board, one charge taken, one kick-ahead pass can flip a 2-possession gap without asking your star to do anything heroic. And those are the possessions that buy a restful 90 seconds here, a restful 90 seconds there, and add up to a fresher body in winning time. That's not abstract. That's how winning groups function. Let's talk about the third quarter again, because it's the hinge for Friday. The opening 3 defensive trips after halftime cannot end with fouls or second chances. First, show discipline on the ball. Second, finish with 2 feet and 2 hands at the glass. Third, communicate on the first action so you don't overreact to the second. On offense, call something purposeful at the 8-second mark of the shot clock, not at 5. A horn's entry into a quick handoff or a Spain look will do. Anything that prevents a late clock isolation with the defense loaded. If they clean those 2 windows, the first 3 defensive trips and the first 2 offensive calls, the entire quarter feels different. And if the quarter feels different, the minute load trims naturally, which is the whole point of this conversation. I want to spend a moment on rhythm, because fans feel it in their bones and players feel it in their legs. Rhythm lives in simple decisions repeated with confidence. If the Stars' 3 isn't there early, you convert that energy into quick post-ups on cross matches, into short rolls where he catches at the dotted line and sprays to the corner, or into handoffs that force the defense to choose wrong at the elbow. You do not let one category of shots tax the whole night. And as the jumper returns, it always does, you fold it back in without changing the workload underneath. That's how a player posts an MVP-level line while the training staff stays relaxed. Now, because this is a report for Lakers fans who know the league, let's also put the opener in the West context. Unpredictability has been pinned on this franchise for a while. Last season, executives called the roster confusing, then the team won 50 and grabbed a top 3 seed. This summer, Los Angeles doubled down on flexibility. Short commitments at center, wings who can space without needing the ball, a defensive leader who can captain a unit if his body cooperates, and a bench configured to play simple basketball around stars. That's how you survive the week when a headline makes the room tense. And that's why tonight should be processed as an early check, not a crisis. Before I deliver my verdict, I want your voice in the show. Tell me below how you'd split ball handling between Doncic and Reeves for the next 5 games. Do you want a heavier horns base to control pace? Or do you prefer 5-out flow to juice corner threes? Who's your finishing 5 when the whistle gets quiet? Do you keep a true center on the floor for rim protection? Or do you go smaller for switches and spacing? Lay out your minute windows, your substitution triggers, and your ATO favorite for the first play out of the third quarter huddle. I read everything, I respond, and I bring the best ideas back into the next breakdown. Here's the update at the top of everyone's mind, delivered where it belongs, at the crest of the report with the context in place. Late-game groin hip discomfort for Luka Doncic, treatment after the game, and a direct, calm message from the player himself that it's probably nothing. That means monitoring, not melodrama. It means planned work and smart usage, not a guessing game. It means the team will operate day-to-day with the flexibility to adjust if anything changes while prioritizing fresh legs and clean possessions on Friday. That's the responsible way to run a season opener into Game 2. My verdict is straight and professional. Hold serve, not hype. Keep the star at roughly mid-30s minutes with micro rests engineered into the flow. Shift 5 to 8 possessions from off-the-bounce creation to catch and finish opportunities, and lean on Ayton's touch and the defense to carry the middle of each half. On the other side, tighten those third-quarter details we talked about. Survive the first 3 trips, get a purposeful look in the first 2 calls, and suddenly the game lands in a sweet spot where your best player can close with energy instead of fighting the tide. Do that, and you're not just protecting a body, you're building a habit that will matter when the calendar turns and the games start to stack. Now it's your turn, Lakers Nation. Drop your rotation maps in the comments, tell me how you'd handle the minute load through the next back-to-back, and whether your closing package changes if the opponent keeps 2 bigs on the floor. I want your 5, your triggers, your best ATO. I'll be there, reading, debating, and folding your smartest ideas into the next video. If this breakdown delivered value, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you get fast updates when the notes arrive and detailed analysis when the lights are brightest. This is Lakers News Fan Report, built by fans for fans, with the clarity and respect this team deserves every single night.